Hello, today I want to talk about two fine young writers called Tim and Neil Finn. Between them, they have quite an output of very powerful songs. I would say if you took World Where You Live, Distant Sun, I Feel Possessed, even a child, nobody wants to, won't give in, not even close, out of this world, part of me, part of you, many songs. You'd be putting together a super powerful album that you could put up against any. So, we're going to talk today about one of the songs between these great writers. And while some of the ones I named are pretty powerful tunes, one of the things both of them understand is the importance of the melody. They aren't slackers when it comes to melody. In fact, one of the problems of pop music is frequently it can be quite threadbare in terms of its texture because everything is so limited. It's very formulaic. It's very cramped into a certain style and size that works with commercial radio. So writers must be masters of powerful melodies in these instances, and these guys do not fail. I could give lots of examples. We're going to talk about a song in which the modus of power is one of mood. It's very interesting. This is my opinion, obviously. Maybe they think, no, that's not. This song isn't about mood. This is about its relationship to checkers and strawberries. But I'm going to go with what I think. I bet they'd agree. Just guessing. So sometimes I would say that lyrics can be extremely powerful. And thus, if somebody has a set of very powerful lyrics, the problem is to have the music live up to the lyrics. More often than not, in the older days, you had people who were such titans of music that the lyrics didn't live up to their music. It's another problem, if you start with if you have music that's just incredibly powerful and the story doesn't quite cut it. In fact, I give a lot of examples. Wagner's operas are some of the most amazing operas ever, and he takes some of the lamest stories, and by sheer virtue of his might, makes you think, well, that's a pretty good story. If you stripped out the music, you'd go, oh, that's kind of not all there. But anyway, in this song, we have to conclude that both the lyrics, the storyline, and the melody, the music are all right up there. It's interesting about I'll take Neil Finn, for instance, because I believe he's the person that wrote this particular one, which is uh, Nobody Wants to. His lyrics are very interesting to me in that they're very advantageous in their vagueness. And one of the smart things about vagueness is that it it's about something, it's sort of there, but there's an awful lot of wiggle room in terms of specificity, and it allows other people to attach their own stories into it, and then let the music really develop even more potency because you connect your story in with their lyrics and music. In fact, except for a line at the end, I attached my own story into this piece. The thing of it is that while it is sort of squishy, this approach to lyrics, I particularly like how the Finn brothers use lyrics because they're very delicious. They're very well thought through in terms of words. The words are delicious, superimposed with the music. You might be pumping your fist going, yeah, and saying the line. You think about a line, and well, I don't really know just what that is, but, that line is very delicious. For instance, in Distant Sun, I mean, the main theme, dust from a distant sun will shower over everyone. That's a great line. Also, from that very same line is no fire where I lit my no fire where I lit my spark. Yeah, I love that line. That line is I can I can turn that into whatever I think I want to mean it, but that's a true poet putting that together. That's just a nice line, and he superimposes it over a great moment in the song where there's lots of lift in the melody, and his singing delivers it. If you had a sort of not so exciting singer, they might just kill all of it. You might go no fire, and then just go, oh well, that doesn't do it for me. But you combine a really good line with a really good melody and a really good singer, and you've got something there. One from one that I really like from Tim is I was following the light from a dead star. And what's that in that one line? There's not only is there a lot of imagery, but there's a lot of cross references and double entendre, and there's just it's very pregnant with meaning, and of course that's in a very extremely powerful song, very powerful. By the way, not even close. Who is it who's playing those synthesizers? Magnifique, you know, and another example of a superstar performance. That song is very underrated, I think. Well, let's talk about the lyrics. In this particular one, for his usual form of vagueness, he really gets down to earth at the very beginning, right out of the gate. Down on the ocean floor, that's where I'm headed for. That's pretty specific, and that's I know I started forming my images about that. And he says, hold on to a sinking stone until the worst is known. Well, that's just great. He's not even holding back. He's giving you really, some pretty good stuff there right out of the gate. And its implications are dark and sinister. Of course, you can fix a lot of different things to that. You can, here's an example. I'll even fill it in. This is sort of what you're not supposed to do, because somebody else might think it's about, being kicked off a baseball team. But I don't get such implications. I actually, was totally absorbed with this, thinking, that's just a masterful song talking about, facing death or having an incurable disease, and and it just really fits a lot of the way. Then I had another story that was connected to that, at the death of someone I knew and what happened to them, and only to have it dispelled at the very end, at the very end. I'll tell you when we get there what dispelled that for me, but still it works. I really like it. Probably could superimpose 20 different stories onto that. It says the chorus is, nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody protects you. Now, that still fits. Then comes back to the verse. They make it go away, pretending that it's all okay. Broken pieces on the ground, and everyone's tiptoeing round. Now, this very provocative texture is running behind all of this, and it's very notable for some slide work that I think really fits in. Slide is dangerous. Could be very corny. Sound like it's it's bayou music, and they're drinking a moonshine on the porch and spitting into the cornfield. But I don't get any of that out of this. It fits right in. It's very good. So he says, now we get to the bridge, and of course the Finn brothers are very notable for quite wonderful bridges. What is it that you want from a bridge? Well, you know, the piece comes along. Okay, let's say you go verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's really good material. You really like it, but you know, just playing the verse and chorus twice isn't going to cut it. So if I just play it again a third time, it starts going into the realm of bird is the word. I could be ruining a lot of stuff. What's nice about a good bridge is the bridge is a contrast to the verse and chorus, lets you forget about the verse and chorus, but it's still sort of in that vein. It keeps the motion going. And within that, hopefully, in some instances, it actually modulates so that as you reappear with the verse or chorus, whichever you're coming back to, it comes in as a fresh key, or it can have a very stark, shocking appearance because it comes from such an angle that it's like, wow, well, that's very different from where I was. But then the power of the verse or the chorus will take over, and then it really works, and it makes it very fresh. So lyrically, things can be done that are very similar to achieve the goals of the verse and chorus. And of course, I consider that a great modifier. To digress a little bit, Sonata Allegro sort of has the same types of relationships here to say verse and chorus and bridge. This idea of, well, so you get it, so you have A, B, you have the sections, and then what happens is they have the Durchführung, I'm probably murdering the word, the working out process. And then, so now we come back and hear it, and because of what you hear in the working out process, it's supposed to really affect how you hear the beginning, the parts you heard in the first place. So it's sort of like if you dip your toe into a river and then you pull it out and you do it again. Is this the same exact thing? And it's not really, because it's different water that flows around it. You feel differently. It's not the cold is not as shocking. You're more used to it, etc. And so the context of this working out period is can make a great deal of a coloration on your piece. Now, this particular piece here is, to me, very indicative of Neil Finn's methodology. He is very much like an impressionistic painter, and you get a bigger feeling from a lot of sort of non-specific little color areas. I don't know if that is such a precise way to say it, but it's very impressionistic, and the music here, as well as the lyrics, do that. So here we come to the "Are we losing something? We used to cry. We used to say why. For all I know, I might not get home. But I found out, if we open it up, we could work this out." So that's the first one where it starts breaking my bubble. It's like, we could work this out. And that's to me, that was sort of has a connotation of relationship, but it doesn't have to be. But it's sort of all my darker and more sinister stories start going, well, I'm not sure. We're gonna, I'm not sure about that, but that's still okay. Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to talk about it now. Doesn't matter. My image of the whole thing is so strong that I don't care about that line. The whole song works very good with what I superimpose into the story. Then finally, what you suspected all along, everything he told you was wrong. See, now that one works with my story a great deal. Everything he told you was wrong. It still could be the relationship thing. It could be, he's talking about a girl and everything he told you was wrong. Well, that's not the way I see it. And you can see it if you want. And then, but nobody wants to. See, it's master songwriter. What a great way to leave it. The vamp on the way out works really well. It's a very top-rate song. Let's ask what's under the hood in terms of the chords and so forth. And I would say that if you listen to it, it's in D flat. But if you pay attention to the guitar chords, it's a D position where he's fingering the natural suspension there, and so I would say probably finger-wise it's in the key of D, though tone-wise it's in D flat. And then someone might say, well, why would you tune the guitar down? And I'm only guessing about this. Okay, you'd have to ask them for sure, but frequently a very logical reason for doing that would be is if the singer is singing these melodies and wants the melody to hit his sweet spot, right in the zone where his voice just sets up perfectly, maybe pulling it down a half step, puts it in that sweet spot. So D flat, B flat, D flat, B flat. It's the verse. If we have it from the guitar position, it would be D, B minor, D, B minor. It would be 1 to 6, 1 to 6. The chorus would be E flat, D flat, B flat, A flat. In the guitar fingering version, E minor, D, B minor, A. 2, 1, 6, 5. Then the bridge, E flat minor, D flat, F minor, G flat. Or E minor, D, F sharp minor, G. 2, 1, 3, 4. And of course I actually have a deep passion for the 4 chord, or the 4 region. It's a very magical place. I think a lot of stuff can really happen there. I'm not saying that he's exploiting the 4 region here, but I always find it interesting that before he returns back into the chorus, that 4 chord shows up there very, I think, prominently. One of the nice things of your writing pieces is the other nice aspect of the 4 region is its natural tendency towards Lydian, and so that also makes it special. That is the major scale with the raised fourth. So we have to tip our hat. I don't have a hat. How about this? A rechargeable battery. I tip the rechargeable battery to the Finn brothers. Great writers. I recommend you go get some Finn brother music. Get all of it. Figure out what you like. Thank you.
That's where I'm heading for. Hold on to a sinking stone until the worst is known. Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody protects you. They make it go away, pretending that it's all okay. Broken pieces on the ground, everyone's tiptoeing round. Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. No one protects you. Say why. For all I know, I might not get home, but I found out if we opened it up, we could work this out. Nobody wants